Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Ready, Set, Go Fish. These are my big boys here. This is mostly the Predator Hap tank that I've been working on the past. I think I got these fish just over a year ago. Most of them were, small fingerlings, barely able to distinguish as male or female. And now, as you can see, they are looking pretty mature. Most of them have some pretty good color now. And they're just a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to keep, a lot of fun to watch them grow. So I was just going to take you through this tank one by one, kind of show you some of the highlights, and curious for any feedback. So let's kind of start with the more with the ones you might not see next time. This guy here is some kind of an OB peacock. I got him just as a rehome, but he's grown to be quite big. You can see he's got some kind of like fungus on him. Do you know what that is? Just leave a note in the comments if you do. I'm curious the best way to treat this. I don't really have a great quarantine tank at the moment, so not quite sure what to do. This is the fish I've had the longest at this point in time. He's an Indonesian datnoid. He definitely does not belong in this Rift Lake or Malawi tank, but I kind of like him. I don't really want to see him go. He's really a lot of fun. This guy here, I believe, is a Turkis. I'm not 100% sure. Once again, I got him as part of a rehome, but he's really turned into quite a stunner, no matter what he is. This guy here is the Intermedius. He's really getting some size on him now. He's quite a specimen. Started off totally colorless. I got some other fish with him at about the same size. Let's see, who was that? I guess I got the Gar, Acuticeps, I believe. This is the Malawi Gar. He was a similar size. The other fish that I got him with at the same time that he's left in the dust, those are no longer in the big tank. It's been a really great rate of growth on this guy, and he's just turned into a real stunner, obviously. This iceberg, he's a common hap. He'll never get to be the size of some of these fish, but he's really quite striking. He's been fun to watch grow. Ndoko white lips, beautiful specimen. I think he'll put on another couple of inches, hopefully. This guy is a Borlei, obviously OB variant. He's super active, really nice striking orange and black. As you probably know, this is the Venustus, the giraffe cichlid. He's the boss of the tank currently. Well, maybe the datnoid's the real boss, but this guy does a bit of bossing as well. He's getting some nice color on his face at this moment, but many times he's like quite blue, which is pretty cool. He's part of the family Nimbochromis, which there are several other members of that family as well. I have one other Nimbochromis in this tank. I believe this guy is Nimbochromis fuscatania, or a Fusco. He's starting to look pretty good. He never gets super blue. I'm not sure how great his genetics are, but he's still a pretty fun fish. This one here, Red Empress. When I got this fish from Cichlid Cartel, I had the choice of this one or one that was like even more red. And, you know, I kind of like the shape of this fish, and I figured that the red would come in. But he's always remained like a little bit, like you could always see that black bar running down his body. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have gone for the really red one. Okay, let's move on to the Bucochromis. This is Bucochromis spectabilis. You know, he's not looking very blue at the moment, but this guy got color pretty early on. But surprisingly, he's remained quite small. He's probably only about, I don't know, 5 inches. Pretty skinny. But he's a cool fish. He's getting some nice little white egg spots. He's got a good appetite, but he seems to not be able to hold down the food as well as I wish he did. His cousin here, this is Bucochromis rhodesii green. I guess it's the rhodesii collection point. And evidently there's a yellow and a green. I've heard this guy's a green, but he looks more yellow to me. If anybody knows, just leave a comment. I'd be curious to get a little more information on that. This is, of course, the Malawi trout. He has had a fantastic growth rate. He's probably 7 inches now. And, you know, I wish he had a little longer finnage. I'm kind of hoping that comes in with more maturity. But he's really getting some nice iridescence. The blue in the face is really coming in pretty well. So he's been a lot of fun. Let's see who's left here. Oh yeah, the blue Mori, of course. The blue dolphin. He's really a great fish. Never causes any trouble. He used to have 3 spots that were somewhat prominent, but he's starting to fill in with like a really nice blue now. I guess he's really feeling himself. The bump on his head is like pretty well formed, it looks like to me. Decent finnage. He's a nice looking fish. And that brings us to 2 of the big hitters here as far as predator haps go. This is the eye biter. You know, he was totally gray for a long time, and he actually looks pretty gray right here too. But I will tell you, sometimes this fish will get quite a bit more blue, which is really a sight to behold. He's a lot of fun to watch. He hasn't caused any trouble. I know some people tend to have some issues with him, but he's been great for me. He's really a lot of fun to observe feeding and just going about his business as usual. This is another one. When I got him at probably 2.5 inches, he was missing this same chunk of his dorsal fin, and I figured like, oh, that'll grow back, no big deal. You know what? It never has. So I don't know if he's been getting picked on for the past, 14 months, maybe. But I sure hope it grows back, because he's a nice looking fish. And that brings us on to Aristochromis christii, aka the Malawi hawk. And this guy has been a tiger out of the gate. He's just very beautiful. He's got a lot of personality. He spent a lot of his life as the tank boss. He's not currently, but he doesn't have to take any shit from anybody, though. Well, maybe a little bit from this guy, but he's at the top of his game. I'm kind of noticing right now, he's got a bit of a blemish on his forehead. I'm not quite sure what that's from, but I expect he'll make a full recovery. Just look at that iridescence on the lips. You know, honestly, I kind of like it when these fish don't turn completely blue. All right, so I wouldn't be mad if he turned blue for a while, just to see him thriving at his peak. But having a little bit of contrast is very nice, and those stripes are pretty sweet too, aren't they? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll show you my my bichers in here too. Looks like we're not going to get a good view at the moment, but this is an ornamentus. This is a ornate bicher, and this big fat guy back here is a Cherry bicher, and he is probably, gosh, I don't even know how thick he is. Like, my wrists aren't super thick, but he's probably about like that. And in here I have some kind of a Synodontus, and he's big. He's probably like 10 inches, but he kind of keeps to himself in here. And that's all we've got, guys. I'll show you the full view, but it's been a lot of fun setting up this tank. It's a 7 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, 210 gallon. I have a 55 gallon sump on this one, and I'll do a tank walkthrough at some other point. But just wanted to introduce you to this cast of characters here. All right, signing off. Bye.